the last roundup.
Well, it's obvious the bastard's got Lyme disease.
What?
Lyme disease. You touch some deer feces and then you eat a sandwich without washing your hands, you got your Lyme disease.
And that makes you look like a squid.
Oh, well, fuck you all for laughing.
Chief, another attack over at the Castavets.
What?
Grant's been stealing animals off farms edge of town.
Oh,
Guys, folks, let's go. Don't forget your guns. We don't want any Lyme disease popping out at us.
oh, ho, ho, ho. Ha, ha, fucking ha.
Welcome to the Last Roundup Horror Show. I'm Frank. With me, as always, Jason. By ourselves again, solo bolo. Good films this time, though. No Easter movies. And no Easter special next year, I don't think. Maybe. We'll
Hope you guys had a good Easter.
Yeah. Hope you have. What's the next holiday coming up? I don't know. Summer. This is kind of a summer movie. This had a summer vibe. Gonna start out with Jug Face. I almost call it Jughead constantly. I was searching for it. I swear I typed in Jughead a few times. Summary. Jugface tells the story of a pregnant teen trying to escape a backwoods community when she discovers that she may be sacrificed to a creature in a pit. Written and directed by Chad Crawford Kinkle. Do you have any additional information?
Tagline: The Pit wants what it wants. Distributed by 108 Media on Blu-ray through modern distributors, out of print. But wait. This movie, DVD, $5.70 on Amazon.
Wow.
It's one of the best buys. For that money, this movie is well worth it.
Yeah, I watched it.
And it looks just fine.
Right.
It looks good.
I watched this through. I got some free subscription through Amazon Prime to a service that I could not identify. It was called like horror something. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a subscription service. And I'm like, well, what other movies are involved with this? And I couldn't find a listing anywhere. I tried to Google it and everything, and then I canceled my subscription because I didn't know what the fuck I was subscribing to.
So you got it was a good.
It was a good free movie.
Good transfer, or
yeah, it was good. It was good.
Good stream quality.
Yeah. I don't know why I was going with that, but cast highlight: Larry Fessenden as Sustin. Best part of the movie for me is Larry Fessenden. Best part of any movie.
Any movie he's in.
Motherfucker is a
People
great
say
actor.
he's not a good actor.
Are you kidding
yes.
me?
They say he's not a good actor.
I still stand by it. Put him in a Shining remake. He will fucking.
You got a
brilliant.
Blu-ray player now. I have a Larry Fessenden collection.
Right.
4 of his movies on it. You should watch them.
I will watch them for sure. He was the best part of what was that other movie we watched? We Are Still Here.
Mm-hmm.
Best part of that movie. Nothing like some good old-fashioned hillbilly incest to kick a plotline right in the ass. It's a weird moonshine cult concept. That should be enough to establish a strange mood, but man, there's some heavy incest in here. There's some fucking dark shit in this movie.
Yeah.
One problem I have with this movie is the structure. I hate it when a film has a mythology of some sort and they make you wait before they explain the shit. Tell me up front. Don't give me a bunch of pictures and expect me to figure it out. Be like, listen, motherfucker, this is a dude, he makes a jug. That person dies. Tell me that shit. Give me a fucking crawl, whatever you need to do. Give me some shit, man. Because I'm not a fucking Scooby-Doo detective. I don't need to figure out shit. I hated the bathroom examination scene. This mother thinks this daughter's been fucking, which she has. She's been fucking her brother, and she wants to like stick her fingers in her pussy because she's pretending.
She wants to
like
make sure she's been faithful. She's
Right.
been true because they signed her off to someone else in their little incest community.
Now, I was already kind of depressed a little bit. And this scene where she's trying to stick her fingers in her daughter's puss and burning her with cigarettes really brought me down to a place where I was like, I need a break. So I took a break at this point. Watched some Family Feud. I don't know what the fuck I watched. Something to get it off my mind. I just want to personally thank you for picking this. I'm not going to pan it, though, because it's a really well-made movie. So even though I was depressed through a lot of it, and I probably won't watch it again. This isn't one I want to own because It's a real bummer.
570.
There's a lot of quality acting. For God's sakes, though, there's nothing really truly fun about it. As well done as this film is, I don't like it for multiple reasons. There's no actor I enjoy seeing pop up in a horror movie more than Larry Fessenden, though. So the more familiar I am with his work, the more I enjoy him. I also think the overall original folklore they've created is something I've never seen before. So I do enjoy that. Like I said, they could have prefaced it a little bit beforehand. The three main issues I have with this film are the scene with the mother and the daughter in the bathroom. I think it's gruesome and pointless. I don't need a film to be this grim. And I don't feel that the resolution at the end goes anyplace. I just don't feel that we have advanced in the story of the pit by the end of the movie. I don't know, like, it's like we're basically back at the beginning.
Yeah, no, it doesn't advance the story of the pit, but you get
what it is.
You get what has to happen and why it's happening.
Essentially just a really long explanation of
I would
what
love
these
to see a
people did.
sequel, Frank.
Well, they can keep going forever, you know? Overall, I hated the way this movie made me feel, but I gave it a 6 out of 10 because it's really well made, and I can understand how a lot of people enjoy it. Watch it. Give it a shot. Watch it once, at least. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, and I think this is streaming somewhere, like legit. I don't. Maybe it's you take things down all the time.
That's the problem.
Another win for physical media, but
I know I saw this on like Tubi or something like that, but
Yeah.
it was not available.
it was somewhere before. It's a low-budget backwoods incest supernatural movie. It's slow. It's paced slow. I think it's forgivable because it has a real creepy tone. It's got some disturbing parts. Like there's enough. It's slow, but there's just stuff going on all the time. You either makes you feel weird or you find something. I found something that I liked about it. Great cast, great acting. Larry Fessenden plays Sustin. I liked Ada, Lauren Ashley Carter, and the Dwight character, Sean Bridges. And I kind of chuckled at him a couple of times. He's kind of goofy.
He's a good character. Him and Sustin.
He's like he carves the jugs.
Right. He like becomes essentially
Possessed.
He becomes possessed by the pit.
Right.
Creates this jug that has a face on it, and then whoever his face is on that jug, they have to be sacrificed to the pit, which is that part's gruesome in itself because they slit their throats with this jagged looking hatchet thing.
Yeah. So it has some really strong characters in it. So again, slow pace, but I like the character, so it doesn't bother me. The music helps with the tone. It's creepy and eerie, and had like, I don't know, was it a theme song or whatever? But the song that plays at the beginning, it was good. I liked it. The bathroom scene,
Too much.
that's it's like I don't even know how it. I wrote down crazy, weird, intense. I don't know because it makes you feel very weird.
There's no need. That's the reason they put it in there. There's no other reason it doesn't.
Like the that is she.
They just want you to know how crazy the mom is.
The other family said if she hasn't been true, you're going to pay up. So this contract that they signed, I don't know, they would have to pay them money because their daughter wasn't a virgin still. So there was some point, and
I guess
she wouldn't open her legs, so she'd burn her with a cigarette. So
get down there in the nitty gritty.
there's this actually had a cool looking creature made for it.
Oh really?
But they decided it didn't really work with the tone. Like it
probably took it out of it.
Well, it's in there. Like when they're having their visions or whatever, it's real fast. It flashes in there. You can see it. But watching the special features, they give you a real good look at it, and it was actually cool looking. Thing I didn't care about the movie was the ghost boy.
Yeah, that was dumb. And the grandpa.
Well, no.
You like that?
Well, it's okay. But I think take out the ghost boy and have Grandpa communicate to Ada somehow instead of just having him sit on a bucket. Shit. Like, I don't know. They said the monster didn't fit the tone. I didn't think the ghost boy fit.
I didn't think well, I don't know. One thing that I can see, I can visualize it without looking at the movie, is her throwing that grandpa's shit out in a bucket.
You see a big chunk at one point. Yeah, so I didn't care for that. I thought they could have used Grandpa to communicate what she had to do, because she found her jughead and hid it, and then it messed up what the pit wanted. So the pit just starts killing everyone. It's a good movie. Janny's Spoon Lady.
Oh yeah,
she's in here. I really like this one. It's not going to get a good enough score for I recommend.
That's why we need the third.
We'll leave it at that. But I gave it an 8. I really like this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say that you should watch it. So it's as close to approved as it can be. Let's move on to Let's Scare Jessica to Death. What a title! 1971. A recently institutionalized woman has bizarre experiences after moving into a supposedly haunted country farmhouse, and fears she may be losing her sanity once again. Directed by John D. Hancock, who did Bang the Drum Slowly and the 1989 holiday classic Prancer. Written by John D. Hancock. His only other writing credit was some movie called Weeds with Nick Nolte. Also written by Lee Calcham, seasoned television writer whose most recent contribution was a short-lived 1994 Gene Wilder sitcom called Something Wilder, which I advise you to look up on YouTube because it's worth your time. Do you have any additional information?
Tagline: Something is after Jessica. Something very cold, very wet, and very dead.
Ooh.
Distributed by Paramount Pictures. It was out on DVD in 2006. That's long out of print. It's kind of pricey to get. This is on Shudder. Check it out.
Right off the bat, I started enjoying this movie. Always a good move to start things out in a cemetery. Stellar score by Orville Stober, and it just feels good to go back to this time period in horror history. If you see a movie from this time period that you haven't watched before, especially from like Paramount, because they really were doing some good shit at this time period. I love finding movies that I've never seen that are this quality. Jessica's voiceover narration is really cool. The way they did it, it's moody. It sets a tone for what's to come. She's kind of talking to herself. It's really cool. The cinematography is no joke. It is a very artistic presentation. The guy who did it is Robert M. Baldwin, who did Andrew Dice Clay's The Dice Man Cometh special, Basket Case 2, and Frankenhooker. So he's an artisan. The sound mix is also very well put together, especially for this time period. It's a real power move to break out a fucking cello. I'm telling you what, this dude breaks out a cello. I don't care what the circumstances are. If you bring a fucking cello into the situation, it's gonna go one or two ways.
It's atmospheric.
You're either gonna fucking fail big time or blow everybody away. It's also a power move to say, let's have a seance. The answer to that is always no. We will not be having a seance, you dumbass. A seance, you fucking dumbass. The one thing I'm confused about is when Jessica's husband says, well, if we're going to find anything around this place worth selling in town, we better start looking. No money, no food. Which led me to believe that these people are flat-ass broke.
Yeah, they spent their like savings on the house.
They somehow managed to buy a house and are relying on potential antiques to foot the bill for their survival. Why the fuck are they goofing off and swimming and shit when they should be hitting the pavement in this weird town and getting those fucking apps in there, man? Get the apps going.
The 70s.
Kids these days don't fucking learn anything. I also don't understand why they say that the mouse they catch is a mole. I mean, it's a fucking mouse. You could have cut that shit out altogether. But I've seen a mole before, and
I thought it was a mouse too. I didn't rewind it or look at anything.
Don't bite on me. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we're dealing with a vampire situation or some sort of succubus. The bleak ending is perfect, and I really wish I had the soundtrack to this movie. It seems to be a little bit hard to find even on YouTube. But it overall seems to be something that exists in a physical world. Yeah, I couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't find a record or anything of this soundtrack. But the movie's right up there with The Changeling as far as a haunted house supernatural film. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I'd look for this to have a good Blu-ray release soon.
Now that it's on Shudder and
and especially it's out of print. Like there's, and I mean it's from the 70s. It's from 71, but I've only heard about it the last couple of years.
Right.
And I've wanted to watch this for the last couple of years. I've heard good things about it. So, yeah, once I saw Shudder was releasing this, I was pretty happy about that. So it's a psychological horror. It plays a lot on mental health. She was institutionalized. She's a little bit crazy. She gets out. She starts seeing some stuff. She don't want to say anything to the other people because they'll think she's nuts.
Right.
So it plays a lot on that aspect. PG-13. I think that's. I don't think it was PG-13. I don't think they did that in the 70s.
I don't know.
But I'm guessing it's for the 2006 DVD.
Right.
Either way, it's not gory. Right. There's not a lot of. I mean, I guess there's some violence, but it's not gory. No blood. Extremely atmospheric, though. It looks good and it feels good. Not only does it look good, feel good, because it's that 70s horror. I love that. But it's just extremely atmospheric. It's gothic, it's spooky, it's haunting and chilling. It's
right.
All the cool adjectives you can use in this movie is the music's good, and that helps play on the atmosphere. And the sounds, all the whispers and stuff going on. It's really, really good. It all fits perfect with what's going on. The acting's solid, story is good. It's unique. I'm not sure I've seen a movie, I don't know about ever, but at least from the 70s, like this movie.
No.
Like a vampire psychological thriller. Like it's terrifying. It's horror. It's creepy. It's very heavy. I highly recommend it. I give it an 8.
So there we go.
That's definitely improved.
Let's go into 2006 with Slither. A small town is taken over by an alien plague, turning residents into zombies and all forms of mutant monsters. Written and directed by James Gunn, who, of course, did Guardians of the Galaxy and the 2010 Rainn Wilson movie Super. I did not know that. I like that movie a lot, and makes sense. He's good at making movies, this guy. Do you have any additional information?
Tagline, What's Gotten Into You? Distributed by Universal Pictures, and this is out on Blu-ray through Scream Factory 2017.
The IMDb trivia is full of little tiny nuggets. You might want to peruse that. I was going to write some of them down, but James Gunn is such a fan of horror movies and stuff that he references so many things. I wrote down the funeral home is R.G. McCready's funeral home, of course, from The Thing. The event they go to, the big event, is called Henenlotter's Saddle Lodge Presents Deer Cheer. Henenlotter, of course, did Basket Case and Frankenhooker. I love that the movie starts out with the mayor of the town yelling at a guy and calling him a cocksucker. The mayor in this movie is the best thing ever.
Yep.
I didn't write down the actor's name.
My favorite kid.
I love that they don't kill him off really quick. He's in almost the whole movie. Or is he in the whole movie? Does he die? I can't remember. There's so many deaths. There's so many people dying. There's so many funny moments. The karaoke singer, who is terrible, is a real highlight for me. I can't remember the song. Oh, it's The Crying Game. Yeah, just terrible. I really enjoy it when Rooker starts to get really fucked up, and he's got that long rubbery arm slapping around when he's like mutating, and this thing's like a fucking like a wet noodle. The one I think he's a deputy, goes, his arm's all bendy, Mayor. The fact that Rooker can't just leave the weird, gross thing in the woods alone, he feels the need to poke it, is hilarious. Because that girl's like, come on, let's go. He's like, wait a minute. Hey, just wait a minute. I think that the most disturbing thing in this movie is watching Michael Rooker, who was 50 when they shot this movie, and Elizabeth Banks, who was 32. They kiss and like get all intimate and stuff, and then he like flicks her nipple at one point. Fucking gross, man. He looks gross in this movie before he transforms. But I love how stupid the people become when they have a parasite in them, and how they respond when someone's like, Jesus, what the hell happened to you? Grant says, it's just a bee sting. And his head's fucking melting. And then the other dude, the dad who's trying to bust the front windshield out of that truck to get his daughter, he goes, where is this, the poison ivy out back? It's like fucking all jacked up. The one father says, that's that dude. The mayor, like I said, is definitely my favorite character. When he's trying to convince everybody that this might be a bad case of the Lyme disease, I almost spit Dr. Thunder all over my fucking computer. Oh my god, it was fucking great. The mayor gets a 10 out of 10 for me. Pretty great CGI overall, aside from a few larvae looking kind of rough. When the dude gets split in two, it looks really good. The bloated woman in the barn is one of the most memorable moments in any film. But whenever the guy's like, we gotta get her to a hospital, and I think is the mayor. What the fuck are we gonna do with her? He says, what the fuck they gonna do with her in the hospital, Bill? It's a really cool detail that all the infected people sort of take on Rooker's persona. Like
I think that's just the writing. I think right. James Gunn. Yeah. I don't know. All the like I have. Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I'm not a big on superhero movies, but that's a good movie. Like,
I feel the same way.
They're real strong characters, and all the banter. And I think he's a good writer.
Yeah, he knows how to make a movie. The ending is wonderful and splattery. The movie overall is just a fun body horror delight. I would love to see less superhero shit and more horror from James Gunn in the future. So keep that in mind, old Gunny. And I give this an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a good 50s sci-fi creature feature with zombies and body horror, and this kind of has something for everyone in it. It has humor. It's got some great one-liners. We've mentioned the mayor. I don't know how many times now. But one of my favorite things that he says. I don't care if you're a lesbo, you don't deserve this shit. It's just like he's saying stuff like that through the entire movie. Great practical effects. I mean, it's up there with all the other greats. Some of the CG you talked about, it does look dated, but for the most part, most of it holds up pretty well. Great characters. Again, I think it's good writing. Mayor's the favorites. Acting is great. Shot really well. And as far as that goes, one of my favorite parts, or at least the part that stands out to me every time I watch it, is when he pops up in the window and then the camera starts moving around inside. It almost gives it like a slasher feel. Right. The stalker, like cat and mouse kind of thing. Yeah, so again, something for everyone. It's cheesy, it's fun, it's a good watch. This is a modern classic to me. It's similar to Night of the Creeps.
Yeah,
so I think it
got a Body Snatchers feel a little bit.
I think it would be a good double feature with Night of the Creeps. Yep. I gave it an 8.
Another approved film.
Throw that steak.
Throw it in steaks. Make them sizzle. Let's see what this one gets. Open Grave, 2013. A man wakes up in the wilderness in a pit full of dead bodies.
Another pit.
Man.
Two pits.
With no memory, and must determine if the murderer is one of the strangers who rescued him or if he himself is the killer. Directed by Gonzalo Lopez Gallego. Oh, fuck. Get a name, guy.
Anytime you get a Spanish name, you become like an announcer.
I hated it so much.
Your Spanish voice is an announcer.
Written by Eddie Borey and Chris Borey. Come on, guys.
Borey, got that right.
The Borey brothers. Okay, what do you?
Tagline: The moment you wake up, the nightmare begins. Distributed by Tribeca Film, Blu-ray, through the New Video Group in 2014.
A little bit of trivia here. This screenplay was featured on the 2006 Blacklist. Do you know what that is?
You've mentioned it before.
It's like it's like a list of the most liked scripts, unmade scripts of the year.
Maybe you haven't listened.
Usually, what the Blacklist is a script that is really good when you read it, but then people are like, I don't know how to fucking make this. Or, like, it's usually something that's so unwieldy to make that they never fucking do it.
This was that on that list?
Well, I'm not saying that they all are, but that's normally the reason people say that they aren't ever made, is that they just are too difficult to make.
It's too good, man. Can't make it.
Too difficult to make right, or whatever.
I get it.
From the beginning, I'm already feeling conflicted because I love the idea of dropping all these people into mysterious circumstances and having them unravel the plot around what's going on. But I also hate it at the same time because I know it's going to be a long jerk-off session that may or may not pay off at the end. Like I said, usually scripts like on the Blacklist are critically acclaimed but also never made. And I wrote down
Long jerk-off section.
Yeah. Like with no payoff, no money shot at the end. The maniac tangled in the barbed wire fence was a demented and unexpected sequence. I thought it was... I've never seen something like that. I don't understand what was exactly going on. Well, I do later. Well, I do. But at the time when it happened, I'm like, this is a weird shit. I'm really not fond of how much I don't know what's happening a lot in this movie. Like, through most of it, I had no idea. I felt like I was watching an episode of Lost. And I'm not... what am I? Am I goddamn Shaggy Doo over here? What am I supposed to...
Shaggy Doo? Shaggy
Am I supposed to be solving mysteries? I laughed out loud when they run into a group of crazy dudes just chopping shit in the woods. The timing of it was perfect. It was a genuine laugh. The guy's like, "Hey!" Then they all take a beat and look at him, and then they just run at him full speed with their fucking axes going. After all said and done, I really enjoy this take on a zombie movie. I didn't know it was a zombie movie until the end. You don't until they let you know at the end. But I think that's the only real way to you can't just say it's another zombie movie, because they snuck it on me. Because if this was presented as a zombie movie, I might not watch it, because there's a million zombie movies out there. Not knowing that you're watching a zombie movie until the end of the film should be something that makes me fucking crazy, and I didn't enjoy it until the reveal. But this is really one of the only creative ways to address a zombie flick nowadays. Very innovative. I mean, when all's said and done, this motherfucker was a perfect piece of fiction. I really liked it. I gave it a 10 out of 10.
What?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. They did something that I hate normally, and I hated it all the way up until the reveal. But when they revealed it, I was like, good fucking job, gentlemen. You made me watch a zombie movie without realizing I was watching one, and hating it all the way up until this point, and now everything else makes sense. I liked the way they constructed it. So, good job from me. That threw you off, didn't it?
Yeah. And with my score, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, so it's like it's an hour 42 minutes. And for the first, I don't even know. I didn't check the time, but it seemed like forever. It's like a who's who. Group of people trying to figure out who they are. They have license. They have keys to cars.
They have some weapons.
Weapons, ammunition, plenty of food. All you have to do is just get on the road and start walking.
Right.
End of the movie. But no one thinks it's okay to go for help. You have all this stuff to take with you. Anyway, it's slow. and it's boring. The first 2 acts are just pretty bad, in my opinion. I get what they were going for. I just think it lacks the execution, the poor editing. I think is why it may also seem like it's too long. Besides it being an hour 42 minutes, like even
That's
if,
funny 'cause
even
I
if
watched-
you cut 15 minutes,
I watched
it
this
still paced
all.
very slow.
Normally, I cut all of them up, no matter what. I watched this whole thing from beginning to end because I rented
Yeah,
it.
you liked it.
I did. I enjoyed it.
It doesn't work for me. It looks good. It's shot well. It's put together. I mean, it's solid there, I guess. The acting's okay. Again, no one knows who anyone is, so there's not really any character development. I don't care about any of the characters. Again, they have all these supplies. All it takes is just a couple people go for help.
Right. Well, I thought they did try to go and figure some stuff out.
They venture out a little bit. They end up finding cars and shit.
Right.
They still don't find it.
Well, I think they got so far, and then those guys chased them with the axes, and then they realized that the bodies
But
around
they have
were-
axes. They have guns and ammunition.
Right.
Like, they'll open up a whole cabinet full of ammunition.
That's true. Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
What's going on here? Anyway, no, I can't recommend it. I was expecting more from this. I think I've heard good things. Was this a poll? This is a poll pick, right? Someone put this up there.
I think your brother picked it straight up. He just picked it.
Oh, straight up.
He picked it. It was one of his picks.
Yeah, it just failed in a lot of ways for me. I gave it a 4.
Well, we felt differently about that one, didn't we?
That's a shocker. I like when
Normally movies like that I fucking hate, but I guess like the whole thing with the pit of bodies and the way they ended it, where I think his wife died or whatever in the pit, and then he wakes up and pushes her off of him, like, get off of me. Didn't even know who she was.
Yeah.
And he never will, probably.
Yeah.
The bleak ending, I don't know. I
so
like
yeah,
the
he was the doctor trying to help
yeah.
cure whatever.
And I think that
Whatever it was.
you don't get any character development until the end.
The
where
third act-
You develop. You find out who everybody is, but
Third act is the only reason I even gave it a 4.
Right.
It's the first two, like, I did not enjoy that movie. I was like,
and
I just normally I can look past. The characters have to make stupid decisions and stuff.
Right.
I just couldn't look past that. I was just going nuts.
and maybe I had just watched so many shitty Easter movies that I was like, this is great. But anyways, do you have movies for next time?
Oh no. It's been a busy week.
I've got some picks here. I got Kuso. That's a weird ass movie I just watched recently. It's on Shudder. Legion on Netflix. Have you ever seen that? I don't know who anybody. It's like angels, I think, and demons.
Don't have Henry Rollins, or what am I thinking
Maybe.
of?
It's a newer movie. It's like a 2000 something.
I think it has
the only scene I've ever seen from it is in a diner where this old lady.
Yeah, they have Henry Rollins.
I'm not sure.
I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
Green Room. Have you seen that yet?
Nope.
That's on Netflix. And I'm gonna go ahead and pick Tucker and Dale versus Evil, just because I like it.
I'd like to see it again.
Pick through, and then we'll see what Jason picks and just check in with the group, check in with the page. Last Roundup Horror Show. Look us up on Facebook. All the shit. Listen to all our podcasts on ZTOTV podcasts.podbean.com or wherever you find podcasts. We will see you next time. Thanks for listening.